Howdy folks, welcome to the sixth video in welcome to my study in this series. Things are a little different today. If you'll notice the backdrop behind me, my bookshelf is pretty much gone. It's in pieces. The reason for that is, one of the reasons it's been a little while since I've been on here, we're in the process of getting ready to move. We are selling our house here and moving into the resort where my wife Susie works, into a slightly larger place. So the next time I do a welcome to my study video, it'll be a welcome to a different study. I'll have the new one set up in our other house. It'll be a little larger as well, and I think you'll find it an interesting place. I'll wait till it's all set up before I do anything. But I wanted to do one more before we move, just because it'll be probably the middle of April at the latest by the time we move, depending on when our house sells. We have a person working on financing right now. But I wanted to do one more because it's been a while since I've been on. And remember, in this series, I've been sharing with you some of the things that are important to me because of the people who gave them to me, or because they have something to do with the Old West. We looked at some old revolvers and so forth. But today I just want to share a couple of things with you. This first one may make you smile a little bit, but cowboys drank a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. Not as much as they did, probably. I drink 3 cups every morning. And if I were really being an authentic cowboy, I'd be drinking black coffee out of a tin cup. Well, I'm not quite that authentic. I put creamer, flavored sugar-free creamer in my coffee, and I drink it out of this cup. Now, this cup is special to me because the most special person in my life, my wife, got it for me. And I really like it. She probably several years ago, it's been maybe 7 or 8 years ago that she got this, and you can see it has a bunch of cowboy stuff. There's a cattle skull, saddle, horseshoes, bucking bronco, all kinds of stuff on there. It says cowboy on it. But this is what I drink my coffee out of every morning, and I will keep this cup until I break it or I lose it. I suppose that could happen. But I'll hang on to it for a long time. It's so special because of the special person who got it for me. Now, second thing I want to show you. Another reason it's been a while since I've done one of these videos is that I've had another surgery on my foot, so I've been sitting in my recliner, recuperating. This one wasn't as major. I had my toes straightened. Some of you who are new to my life and Susie's may not realize this, but I had something called Charcot foot. It's Charcot, named after the French doctor who had it himself and discovered what it was. And what happens is, for some reason, as a result of a mild or severe injury to the foot, everything that holds the foot together lets go. The tendons, all the things that keep your bones in place, and the bones just start shifting all over the place, and it's called a bag of bones. The untechnical name for it is a bag of bones. And that's what happened to me somehow. My foot swelled up. Some doctors looked at it and said, oh, we know what it is. It's this. And they did a couple of minor surgeries on it, and they said, that'll fix it. Well, that didn't. And they told me to walk all over the place, a couple miles a day at least, when I should have been off it completely. And I just about destroyed it to the point that the first doctor who looked at treating the wound said, we will try to save your foot. I went to a limb preservation specialist, and he said, we'll try to save it. And he did. He healed the wound till it was very small. I had a huge hole in the bottom of my foot, and he got that down to about the size of a pencil eraser. And then we went to a surgeon who did the 3 surgeries on my foot. I was in an X-Fix for 4 or 5 months, and in a walking cast, and I've had a number of surgeries. This last surgery, this third one, was to straighten my toes because they were crossed over each other, and I had something called hammer toe where my toe was curled, and he straightened them all out. So now, that was 2 weeks ago. Now I have my foot straightened out again, and I've been wearing something called a crow boot. Right now I'm in an air cast. Some of you are familiar with those if you've broken legs or arms or other appendages. So I'm wearing an air cast right now while my crow boot is having a new heel put on it because I wore it out from walking all over the place. But one of the other thing I want to show you today, one of the things that we do when we do book signings, Susie and I dress up in period costume, kind of like what I'm wearing now. I would have a bandana on, Old West pants with suspenders and buttons instead of a zipper, shirt like this with no collar like what most of you guys have on your shirts, and a vest with lapels. I mean, it would be, and of course, this is the oldest cowboy hat I have, most authentic one probably. But we dress like that, and then for years, I wore cowboy boots. I mean, that's what a cowboy wears, right? And the boots that I wore to book signings and everything were these boots. This is the right one. The left one I'll never be able to wear again, so we're looking for some alternatives. But these are called, you can see the spurs there with the jingle bob that made a little bit of a noise when you walked. And these are called mule ear boots. Now you tuck your pants inside them when you wear them, but you use, obviously, this is why they're called mule ear. You use these to pull them on. And back in the old days, bootmakers made boots, and you came in and you tried to find a pair that fit your foot. And they didn't always fit very well. These fit me well. They're the right size for me, but I still have to use those mule ears to pull them on. And this is what I have worn for years. Now I wear a tennis shoe on one foot and that crow boot on the other. So we're going to do some looking. I do have a brace that I wear sometimes, and a shoe. And I'm going to see if we can get a boot maker to make me a boot that will go on over that brace, like this one I just showed you. And then I'll be able to go back to wearing boots again. I would like that. It makes things look more authentic. But anyway, those are two of the things I wanted to show you today. When Susie and I do book events, we like to look the part, and she is always at my book table with me. And we did a book event last weekend, and we have one coming up this weekend. It's a Meet the Author book event. Meet the Author's book event at Superstition Mountain Museum in Apache Junction, where we live, and we're looking forward to that. We've been out there for a number of events. But I just wanted to let you know I will be continuing this series, and I'll have some more stuff to show you, some pretty neat stuff actually, and some things to show you that existed in the Old West, things that might interest you, things you run across in the books occasionally, and but I'll be doing it from a different office. I'll wait till we get moved, and I'll set up my office, and when I come back on again, it'll be a different look behind me probably than what you're used to seeing. But that's all I have for now. If you haven't joined my posse yet, please go by my website, www.marklredmond.com, and sign up for my email list. About every week to 10 days, I send out an email, a relatively short email, catches you up with what we've been doing, book signings and things like that, mentions what's coming up sometimes, lets you know where I am in the progress. Right now, I'm on about, I'm about 25,000 words into the next Nate Landry book, So I'll have it finished in a couple of weeks at the most, and then I'll edit it and get it published, and I'll let you know when it's available. Hopefully by mid-April or so, it should be available to buy. And then as soon as I finish that Nate Landry book, I'll start on the next, the second book in the Box M series. And I know a number of you have asked me about that, and you're waiting on that, but I'll get to that next, and I'll get that one out a little more quickly. I can move a little faster on the middle grade books than I can on the books for grown-ups. But that's where I am right now. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in. Happy trails.